This watercolor technique today creates one of the most dramatic paintings I have ever made. I'm not going to lie, it does take a little bit of patience, but watching it come together feels almost magical, and it's easy enough that even someone brand new to watercolor painting can do this. So, what are we waiting for? Let's jump right in. Okay, so first I'll just quickly pull out my watercolor supplies. I have here my palette of paint, a paper towel, some clean water, and then of course we're going to need some watercolor paper. You can use whatever size you'd like. Mine is cut to the size 8 by 10 today because I do plan to frame this in later. Now, with this painting, we are going to want an outline drawing on here. We have a couple of options for you. If you have your own reference photo of some ferns or beautiful leaves, or even just some cool looking flowers, you can print out your own reference and just trace that onto your paper. Or if you enjoy drawing, you can freehand draw your own outline yourself. Another option I have for you is to use this outline that I've already prepared. I'm going to put this in my Etsy shop so it's available to anyone, and then all you have to do is print it out and trace it right onto your watercolor paper using a light table or even just a well-lit window in your house, and you're all set to go. Now, this is a little bit tedious to trace on here. There's a lot of little parts and pieces to this, so it might seem a little bit intimidating. It's not exactly hard to trace, but it does take some time to do. But trust me, the end result is so worth it. Okay, then once as you have your outline drawn or traced onto your watercolor paper, you're ready to begin. So let's go ahead and pull out some brushes that we might be able to use for this piece today. We're going to be doing a large background wash, so it would be good to have a nice large brush to help with that. We only need one, but I do have two options here that I'm thinking about using. I either have a large filbert brush or I can use a large round brush. So go ahead and just pull something out that feels like it would be able to work and fill in that space quickly. One other thing that we need for today's painting that is a very critical part of making this work, we are going to need some sort of masking fluid. Now, I've heard from some of my viewers out there that there was such a thing as a masking fluid pen or marker. So I actually went out and got some, and this is going to be my very first time trying them out today. But if you don't have the pens or markers, using the bottled masking fluid would work just as well too. If you choose to use the bottled fluid, then you're going to want to paint this on with a brush. And it's always a good idea to put a little bit of liquid soap in the bristles to help rinse out that fluid out of the brush later. I also recommend not using your favorite, most expensive brush for this. Although the soap helps a lot, sometimes that masking fluid can gum up the bristles. But my hope is that the masking fluid pens are going to make the job a lot easier today, so let's give that a try and see what happens. Now, the masking fluid pens that I got came with different tips. There's a calligraphy tip that's more flat. I don't think I'll be using that one, so I'm going to pull out the round tipped ones. There's a medium and a small round, and I think these should work okay. I'll also just tape my paper down really quickly with some artist tape. And something that's optional, but I'm choosing to do, is create sort of a border around my painting today to really help set this off. And because my tape is fairly thin, I can use it to tape completely around the edge of the paper using the width of the tape to create the border, and then I'll come back over that with a second layer of tape just to help hold it down to the table. If you have a thicker artist tape, then you probably don't need to double this up. This is just what I need to do today. And as a side note, these brushes that you see me using today are from my Craftamo subscription boxes, so I'll leave a link for those in the description of this video, along with links and information for any of the other products you see me using today, also including my Etsy shop. All right, good enough. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is apply the masking fluid. So I'm going to pull these pens out and get them ready to go. The instructions say that you're supposed to shake them and then press down on the tips to kind of prime the tip and get it flowing. I'm just going to test this out on a scrap piece of paper and see about how thick or thin these lines are going to be. I think maybe I'll start with the more medium-sized round tip first. I think it will be able to cover a larger area. I'm going to use this first to draw on the center line of the fern, and then we can start coloring in the fern leaves that connect to it. Now, this is the part that's going to take a little bit of time and be a little bit tedious. The good news is that you can break it up. Take a break, come back to it in a few minutes. You don't necessarily have to do this all in one sitting. Although I do recommend maybe completing this within the first day at least. You probably don't want that fluid to sit on the paper for too long, or it may not come off very easily. And although this does take a little bit of patience to do this part, this is probably the most critical part to this particular painting. This is what's going to make it stand out. We're basically doing like a negative painting, so kind of the opposite of a silhouette, where our main feature of the piece is actually going to be lighter in value than everything around it. Now, I tried using that medium-sized round fluid pen and it worked pretty good. I do have some more thin, fine points to some of these fern leaves, both on the very end as well as some of the smaller individual leaves themselves. So I'm going to try maybe using the small, thin, round tip and just color in some of the finer points here first, and then I'll come back with that larger masking fluid pen to fill in the rest of the space. The good news about this part is that even though it does take some time, it's not hard to do. We're basically just coloring. Something that I do like about these pens is that it does have a slight tint to the liquid, so it's showing up as sort of a gray color on my page, which is really nice, so then I can actually see where I've put this in at. Now, because this does take a little bit of time to do, I'm not going to show the entire process of putting all of the fluid on my page. This is very basic and all done exactly the same way. We're just filling in the space. So I'm just going to skip through this part a little bit faster just to move on. But if you need to, go ahead and pause the video until you're ready, and then you can come back to the tutorial in a minute. Whew! Okay, that was definitely a lot of work, but trust me, it is going to be worth it in the end. I kid you not, That was actually the hardest part to this entire painting, so if you've gotten to this point, it is going to be smooth sailing from here on out. Now, you're going to want to let that masking fluid completely dry before moving on to the next part. So while we just give that a couple more minutes, I'm going to pull out another key element to this painting, and that is some saran wrap or plastic wrap. We're going to be doing a saran wrap texture on the background of this piece, which makes it look so cool and creates that really dramatic effect. So go grab some saran wrap or plastic wrap and just set that off to the side for a minute, and then let's go ahead and get some colors ready on our tray for the background wash. Now I'm choosing to make this very dark and very dramatic so that the ferns are really going to stand out against the background. So I'm actually going to be pulling out some ultramarine blue, some Payne's gray, and some ivory black. You, however, can use whatever colors you want. I do recommend using darker valued colors like a dark green, dark blue, dark purple, maybe a dark red, whatever of those you want to try. I would just keep it nice and dark in value. For me, I often use greens and blues in backgrounds, so I really wanted to try something totally different, which is why I'm going with more of a grayscale with just a hint of blue in there. I think it's going to make it really dramatic. Okay, then after you have your colors mixed and ready to go, you're going to want to take your large brush and paint the entire page with water so that it fills the entire space. Then when your page is nice and wet so that it's kind of shiny looking, go ahead and start taking some of your paint colors and splashing those in here. Now, because my blue color is just going to be a hint or an accent to the grays and blacks, I'm going to put that in here first and just kind of spread it throughout the page. And I'm not necessarily painting this on in an even way. I'm just putting splashes of color and spreading it around here and there. All right, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Payne's Gray next to make this a little bit darker in value, mixing it into that blue color that's already there. And again, I'm not worrying about making it smooth or perfect. Because of the texture we're about to add, having this smooth doesn't really matter for this piece. All right, I have a nice blue-gray color going on here, but with this painting and with this technique, we really need this background to be nice and dark in value. So now it's time for me to add in my ivory black. I'm going to really focus this dark paint color right around the edges and around the ferns so that those spots really do stand out. All right, I think that's good enough. My entire page is covered. I've got lots of dark colors on here, so I'm going to rip off a nice large piece of the saran wrap. I might crinkle it up just a little bit, and then I'll lay it down on top of that wet background paint. Now, you'll want to work a little bit quickly here. You can kind of squish or maneuver or wrinkle the plastic wrap around your painting. You can kind of see what texture you're going to be creating, so just press and push down on that, maybe scooch it around a little bit and sort of get that look that you want. You'll have a minute or two to work with this, but then you're going to want to let it sit and just leave it alone. I do hope you're enjoying the tutorial so far. I think you are really going to love this piece. If you find that you are enjoying my painting and teaching style today, I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any of my new and upcoming weekly tutorials. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm not going to mess around with that anymore. So now that our paint is covered with the saran wrap, it's going to take a little bit of time for this to dry. So go take a break for a little bit. You'll probably want to let this sit for maybe a half hour, give or take, and then you can come back and check on it. All right, it's been maybe a half hour to an hour since I was last here, and I think it's probably pretty dry by now. It does seem like it's still a little bit damp, but it's not so wet that the colors are going to seep into each other anymore. Look at this awesome texture that we have on our page. Isn't this just the coolest thing ever? It was seriously little to no effort to create this background, and it looks so cool. Now, since my painting does seem to be just a little bit damp still, I'm going to let this sit for a few more minutes to let it completely finish drying, and then we can come back to it again. All right, I gave that another 10 minutes or so, and I think that mine's dry enough that I can move on to the next step. You are going to want to make sure that this is totally dry before moving on, otherwise you could risk smearing or smudging your painting or even damaging the paper if it's still damp. But at this point, we just need to take off the masking fluid that we have on our fern leaves. Now, you can try rubbing it with your fingers. You can use a good eraser to try to erase it off, which is actually what I'm going to do today. Sometimes I like to do that because it also takes off any of the leftover pencil marks that might still be underneath as well. I will say that the liquid masking fluid in the bottle seems to come off a little bit easier than the fluid from these pens, so this might just take a little bit of elbow grease, but don't worry, we'll get it done. I think in the end it was still probably worth it to use the pens just because of how tiny and tedious the spaces were for the fern leaves. Let's go ahead and do our final reveal look here. I'm going to go ahead and peel off my artist tape and we'll see what we have. Oh, wow. That turned out so good. I love that I made a little bit of a border around this. It just kind of sets off the entire piece and really makes it pop and stand out. This was so much fun to do. It obviously took some time painting on the fluid and waiting for things to dry, but it really wasn't hard to do. There wasn't a lot of extra skill required to make this piece, and the cool thing is that when you use the saran wrap to create the texture, you're always going to get a different look. Even if we are creating the exact same painting, they are all going to look different and unique because of this technique. I'm so glad you joined me for this dramatic painting today. I truly hope you had some fun and maybe even learned something new. If you did enjoy this tutorial, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel so I can continue to help you discover your artistic side.